ISIS, as you know, has been in many of the headlines lately, and as a result, the fighting continues in the Middle East, and more innocent people are killed every day. In just the year 2014 alone, according to IBC analysts, it is estimated that over 17,000 civilians have been killed in Iraq alone due to the ISIS campaign. So today I'm going to be going a little bit into depth on how the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria came about and how their terrorist activities are affecting the world currently. As ISIS continues to expand, the U.S. has resorted to stepping up its security right here in the States, putting all military installations on FBCOM Bravo. That's the third highest level of force protection against terrorism, in case you didn't know. So I'm going to move on to my first point, where ISIS came from. 3 years ago, this organization did not exist, but now this group controls vast territories in Iraq, Syria, and many other places. So the question is, how did they get there? Principally, ISIS was pretty much born from the genocide in Syria that continued for a couple of years as the world just sat back and watched. It's the illegitimate children born of pure hate and fear from over 200,000 Syrians murdered and millions others displaced from their homes. Bashar al-Assad's civil war in Syria is directly related to this rise of ISIS. It started with the violent uprisings of protesters and escalated into extreme war crimes of Assad's government army murdering the protesters. These war crimes against the people of Syria included using barrel bombs, airstrikes, and even resorted to chemical weapons. As a result, the death count of civilians rose to over 200,000 and left almost 7 million angry people displaced. This catastrophe united a lot of the rebels, which many of them were actually prior Al-Qaeda, to fight together, and in turn, that's how the Islamic State was born. On June 29, 2014, the organization proclaimed itself to be a worldwide caliphate. Basically what that means is ISIS claims all religious, political, and military authority over all the Muslims worldwide. So now you know where they came from. I'm going to be going on to my second point, and that's how they make their money. So the question is, how was ISIS funded? Well, despite several attempts by coalition forces to cut off the funding of ISIS, the organization still continues to thrive and find independent ways to create capital. Their main source of income to this day is oil, of course. The oil from refineries captured in territories in northern Iraq and Syria is sold on the black market and is estimated to make around $1 to $2 million a day, according to various CNN sources. They produce about 44,000 barrels a day in Syria and about 4,000 barrels a day in Iraq. Although ISIS is, suitably equipped and wealthy through its oil, they still have alternative ways to obtain their revenue. One particular, the kidnappings and demanding ransom money. According to David Cohen, the U.S. Treasury Department Secretary for Financial Intel, ISIS has made an estimated $20 million alone in ransom money from kidnappings. So that's quite a bit of money. So now I've discussed how they made their money, I'm going to move into my last and final point, how they're expanding. So how is ISIS expanding into different territories? So as I stated before, ISIS was born in Syria. Most of their soldiers and assets remain there and neighboring Iraq. But according to various sources from the International Business Times, since last year, ISIS has expanded from only 2 countries to 10. These countries include Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Libya, Sinai, and even parts of Pakistan and Afghanistan. How they were able to expand so quickly points to the media, of course. ISIS has used social media like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to its advantage to recruit fighters all over the globe, as well as spread their gruesome message of terror. So, in case you're wondering, it's definitely the media that's brought everybody together. So, wrapping up now, today I've told you a little bit about ISIS and how they became a threat they are today. Also, how their organization is funded and how they're expanding in the world. This group is dangerous and I don't believe they should be taken lightly. My advice for everyone would be to stay posted on the news for more info and to be cautious in public, as ISIS can be anywhere. So I hope I've furthered your knowledge for this group, and everybody watch out. My references for this are Hamat Dargan from IraqBodyCount.org, as well as BBC News affiliates from BBC.com, as well as Brett Lagero from the Business Insider, and last but not least, Alessandra Massey from International Business Times. Hope you enjoyed my speech. Bye-bye.